Hello everyone, welcome to this session. So during this session, I'm going to show you how you can debug in production. Okay. So just to introduce myself before we start, my name is Santan. I work for Red Hat as a senior software engineer. And at Red Hat, I work on two projects. So the first one is Jcube. We're going to talk about this one. And also Fabricate, the Fabricate Kubernetes client. We're also going to show a bit of that during the demo. During my free time, I'm also, hello! I'm also co-organizing the Java user group in Paris, and I'm also brewing my own beer in my kitchen. You can follow me in Twitter at __, so there is 2 underscore, Unix underscore, and take pictures for me, please. It's my first time at DevOps. Okay, so question for you. Who has ever debugged in production environment? Ah, there's a lot. You know that it's bad. It's a bad practice, you know. But you know, I understand you, because sometimes it's not easy to reproduce your bug on your local laptop. For various reasons, you are on Windows 7 and the production environment is on Linux. Or maybe sometimes you have so many microservices around that you cannot have them in your laptop. And if we think about that, Kubernetes could be an answer to that. So if we look at Kubernetes, it is basically your infrastructure that you describe into YAML files, and you give that to Kubernetes cluster. It will generate the infrastructure for you. It's called infrastructure as code. It's quite magic, and we can actually, I think, use Kubernetes as what I call the ultimate developer sandbox. What I mean about that is that Kubernetes is, as I told you, the infrastructure is in the YAML, so you can easily take the same YAML that you use for your production environment and reapply that for your testing environment. Normally, it should be quite very similar, very production-like. And the other thing is that when you create an environment for your testing environment, it is easy to create them, but also to delete them. And you can also make this environment isolated. So to me, this is really nice so if you have a lot of microservices that your app is depending on, it's great for that. So at Red Hat, we have an OpenShift cluster that you can use for free. And what I'm going to show you next is how we can use this as a developer sandbox. So it is called developer sandbox. It's completely free. You can use it for free. Of course, it is free and limited in resources, but it is perfect for all your experimentations or prototyping. And I forgot to talk about OpenShift. OpenShift is just a kind of distribution of Kubernetes. So yeah. Okay, so let's go to the demo part. Yeah. So I go to the website, Developer Sandbox, and I will just run the sandbox. So normally, if you create an account here, you should see this button here in this website, the developer.redhat.com Developer Sandbox website, and this is to start your the sandbox itself. It's going to be it is a bit fast because I already started before, but basically you have the OpenShift UI. At the moment it's empty, there's nothing, but you can access to that to your cluster. I also want to access to the cluster through the CLI, so kube control. So there is a command here that I can copy to connect my local computer to the remote one. So let's copy that. Open the terminal. Paste. Okay, I'm connected. I can do kube control get pods, for instance. I have nothing, but I'm connected. Okay, so now let's try to do something more interesting. What we are going to do is to deploy a Postgres database in Java. So normally you deploy anything using YAML and using the command kubectl apply -f of the YAML files. That should deploy something in the Kubernetes cluster. But here we're going to show another way to do that. So it will use the Fabricate Kubernetes client, which is a Java library to interact with a Kubernetes cluster. And we're also going to use Jbang, which is a nice tool. So you can execute some Java code without having to compile it and download and configure a Maven project for that. And it will be a nice way to test some tasks like the question of the database and so on. So in the step, we're going to first create an object, a Kubernetes client object that will use the connection that is used by that is set up for kubectl. Then we're going to create two resources in Kubernetes, so the PVC and the deployment object that will use the persistent volume. And then we will use in Java some code to upload an SQL file and then to remote execute that in the cluster, in the pod. So if I would just show you quickly the code, and then I will execute that afterwards. So this is the Jbang file. We start with that, and the nice thing is you don't have to set up a Maven public XML file. You just need to add some commands to add the dependencies. For instance, // deps Apache client. So this is the Kubernetes client actually, and then another dependency. It's commands compress. Then here I'm showing you how you can create the PVC resource. Basically, it is using a builder. So there is a builder for each type of resource. And then you create you would do in YAML, it would be quite the same, but here there is a Fluent API that we have in Java with the Fabricate Kubernetes client. And that creates actually the equivalent of the YAML file. And you have to pass that to your cluster, and this is done through the client.resource, the object that you pass, and create or replace. It is the equivalent of kubectl apply. Okay, we do the same thing for, oops, I have a bug here. Oh yes, it's not the good order. So first we had to create the client object, and then the PVC. Here it is the same thing for the persistent volume. And the step 3 is to upload the SQL file. So we search for the pods where we want to upload this file, the SQL file, and then we use this method to upload. Okay, nothing very hard. And last, we execute that in the remote container. So you can see with exec here, we can pass some command to execute remotely. So okay, let's run it. Actually, what we're going to do, we will not just deploy a Postgres database. We will also deploy the RabbitMQ broker. So basically, this is the code that I have in GitHub. It is the same one that you've seen previously. It's a bit more complex, but it's quite the same. And you have the code to deploy the RabbitMQ database broker. So if I want to run this command or this Java code, I just need to type Jbang prod. It is in prod and it is prepare up, and it is going to start my to deploy my database and the RabbitMQ broker. Okay, so I have done that. I'm very happy, but I don't know if you have seen just in the the project, there is not only this database and this RabbitMQ in my application. There's other components, Java projects, Northwind, which is a Quarkus project. There is the Order Faker, which is a Spring Boot project, and here there is a Micronaut project there. I cannot use Jbang and the Fabric client to deploy that because I also need to create the image. So what I'm going to do is to use Jcube. So Jcube, basically, it's a collection of projects, basically Maven plugins and Gradle plugins that you install in your and once you have installed these plugins in your project, it will provide you some tools to build the container image, to generate the Kubernetes YAML files, and to apply everything in the cluster. And it will do it in a very smart way. It will detect the framework that you're using. It will also detect the dependency that you have, and it will generate the right image and the right resources for you. And if you need to customize it, you can. You can just override some parts of the stuff that has been generated. So I'm going to show you the Jcube website. So it is showing you the 4 plugins that are available. So Maven Kubernetes, Maven OpenShift, Gradle Kubernetes, and Gradle OpenShift. You see, it's quite simple. It's just about adding. In the POM.XML the plugin, and then you will be able to use all these commands individually. Okay, so basically, just to go into the details of each command. So Kate's build, it's to build the Docker image. It would use what has been produced by the map and package command and assemble everything to make the Docker image. It will use a Docker behind the scene, but you can also have some option to use a Jib or anything else. Kate's push is to push the image to a container registry. Then Kate's resource is to generate the Kubernetes resource. By default, it will generate a deployment and a service. And Kate's apply, it's the Kubernetes kube control apply. It's to apply that to the cluster, to the connected cluster. Normally I have the demo, but I won't have time to show this one. This is one way to customize Jcube. It's through system properties, Java system properties. So for instance, here there is an option to add an ingress resource. So you put Jcube create external URLs to true. It will generate an ingress. And you can also override the default replica value with this property. You can pass this property with in the command line like that, if you like. Okay, so and there is other way to customize Jcube. You can do it through the plugin configurations in the POM.XML or Gradle configuration file. There is also fragment, which is adding small fragments of a resource, and that will override just the part that you have added as a fragment. Okay, so let's see. There's the OpenShift Maven plugin. So it's quite the same. You see, there's the same command. And what I'm going to do is to run this one. Oops. Okay. I don't know what happened, but providing not valid. Okay, I hope it will not break my demo, but let's do quickly package OC build OC resource. Sorry, I have some difficulties to type because I'm injured. So, ah! And yes, like that. Okay. So that should work. Okay, so let's wait. So so if you're going through the details, these commands are doing quite the same thing that we've seen with the the Kubernetes plugin. The difference is that OC build is not building locally on your laptop. It is sending the jar files or the WAR files to the cluster and doing the build remotely. OC resource will do the same thing. There may be some differences between the resources that's been for Kubernetes and OpenShift, and apply should, as Kate's apply, deploy that in your OpenShift cluster. So this is the demo that is getting deployed. So basically, this is the Quarkus application, the Northwind app. In the middle, there is a lot of orders. And normally in the app, not here because it's a screenshot, but in the app, you're going to see that this list is getting refreshed every seconds or 5 seconds. It's because if you look at this diagram, there is this application, order faker. So the name is saying what it is doing. It's creating fake orders and calling the Northwind REST API to add new orders every second. And then once there is a new order, the Northwind application will store the application the orders in the database. And there is this button here. When you click here, what it will do, it will send an event to the broker. And this application is listening to the topic and will get the event and will finally send an email to Mainlater. Let's see if everything has been deployed yet. If no, I can continue to talk. So basically, when you use Jcube, without Jcube, you have this process to build your Java application in Kubernetes. So you use Maven package to generate your jar or your WAR file, and then you use a Docker file. So you have to create a Docker file to build your application and create a container image, and you have your YAML files that you have to create and combine with the container image and use kube control apply to deploy that into Kubernetes. And with Jcube, it's really simplifying all the process. So you would use everything with Maven, and there's less things to do. So you have no Docker file, no YAML file to manage. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, done. So let's see if it's running. Okay, my application, I think is running, and if I click here, it should redirect me to the application normally. And come on. Oh, okay. What if I do Jbang? Jbang. I think I had to. I think the script is taking the file in the same folder, so that's why it didn't manage to upload the schema and everything. But if I do that, normally, I hope there is some magic and the demo gods are with me. If you can pray with me. Okay, so, come on. Ah, you can approve. Thank you, demo gods. So normally, you should see that it's keeping updating, adding new. Yeah, you see it's refreshing. If I click here, I'll click here. Normally, I have open. No, it is not open. So I have to find back the link. It is there. And see, so just now I clicked 2, and this is the test I've done 2 hours ago. So it's working fine. I've deployed my application, but the thing is, as you see, it took some time to deploy everything. So everything is in my sandbox, but it took some time to do it. And but usually, what I would do if I work on this project is that I would use my local laptop to code that. So, for instance, I would use Maven Quarkus Dev, right? So let's run that. Northwind and Quarkus Dev. So if I run Quarkus Dev, I have a problem. So if I go to localhost, I have the problem. So my application is there, but I don't have anything in the database. I cannot click on the button. There's no button because there's no orders. And the reason is that when I'm here, I cannot connect to the database that's in my test cluster, and I cannot receive new orders as well. So it would be nice if somehow, I don't know if you know Star Trek. Who knows Star Trek? Yeah, we can see the old people here. So Star Trek, they have something called the transporter. It's a machine in their spaceship, the Enterprise, that allows you to teleport people into a nearest planet. And it would be nice if we can do like in Star Trek, so our local computer to teleport that here in the cluster and continue to do live coding. So, because I didn't show you, but if I'm trying to add some stuff here, dashboard, I added dashboard in, and if I do refresh here, it would be refreshed, but in my real application, it's still Northwind traders, right? So it would be nice if we could do that, like the transporter. But if we think about that, if we look at the interaction, so here the connection to the RabbitMQ broker, and here this incoming connection to the Northwind from the order faker to the Northwind application. This actually network traffic connection, and we know how we can somehow make some tunnels to make like this. We were in the cluster, but we are not. So actually, this is what the command OC remote dev is doing. It will create tunnels, SSH tunnels. So from there to there, from there to there, and from there to there. So you feel like your laptop is in production. And let me show you that. So I'm going to switch. Yes. CD Northwind. Down and now I can do MVN OC. So you have the same thing for the Kubernetes Maven plugin and the Gradle plugins as well. No, remote dev. Okay, and let's open localhost. Let's wait a bit. Oh, sorry. Normally, should be magic. Okay, let's wait a bit. Bam. So it's creating the tunnel, so it's written here. And you see here, it's localhost, and I have everything there. And if I go to the previous application, I refresh. This is so the application in production, the fake production. I click refresh, and I should see that, oh, see dashboard, this is what we changed locally. So it is really our local application. I can try to send an email to see, but first I'm going to make a change here as app. Okay. So if I do send an email and check my emails as app, and if so, the tunnel is here, and now if I'm shutting down, bam, it will come back to the normal states. Okay, I can show you now localhost. It will be down again, but here it will be back to normal. So no dashboard here. And if I send an email, it should be back to normal, okay? So that was, thank you. That was it for the demo. It was not completely magic. I had some configuration to add. So you see in the plugin, in the POM XML, I just had to add this configuration. And this is, so you see in blue, it is the connection to the external, the remote Postgres database. So just to give the name and the port. And then you can do the same thing for the RabbitMQ broker. And on the other way around, you can redirect calls to the remote service locally to your machine. So this is the opposite. Okay, so this is good, but you know, when I first saw this demo, so this is my colleague Mark who's done this feature. As I was wondering, like, but actually we could do that with non-Java projects, right? It's not specific to Java. The thing is, Jcube is a Maven plugin and Gradle plugin, so you could only use in most. Normally, you would use that for Java project. But the feature itself of remote dev could be used in non-Java projects. So what I did is that I created I started some POC projects to give a try with other tools like a kube control plugin or a VS Code extension. So I've done that, and I can show you right away. So the kube control plugin, so I have to do kube control, and it's called kport. There is a first command to initialize your configuration. So it would connect to the cluster and detect the services. So I will create a Northwind, the connection to my application, to my local application. So Northwind, port 8080, and then I can create the connection to the database and the RabbitMQ broker. Yes, Northwind DB, and the port is this one, and the RabbitMQ broker. It's RabbitMQ. And I think I have to, we wanted to show that we can change the port, so I'm changing it. And then I have to save it in this file. So this file, I can show you, looks like that. Basically what we added in the configuration. And I can then do starts to start the remote dev, but that will work for even if you don't have a Maven project. Okay, I think it is. Okay, so now it should be like before. So if I do, if I come back here, it should be back to dashboard normally. But yeah, so dashboard, and I have everything. I would try to make a modification and send an email. Up. Sorry, I wanted to add, yeah, this. And then I will send an email in production again. Where is my mailinator? It works, it works. So that was it. Thank you very much. If you want to replay the demo with Jcube, you can scan this QR code and you can replay it step by step at home. So thank you very much for attending. I don't think we have time for questions, but feel free to ask me if, to come and see me. Thank you.